season for the NBA, with the end of the season and entirety of the playoffs being played in the Orlando bubble. LeBron said reaching the finals under these circumstances has been, quote, the most challenging thing I've ever done. However, Skip has made the case repeatedly that this has become LeBron's easiest path to a ring. Oh, all right. Chris Broussard is still with us. Chris, I ask you, toughest or easiest?
Well, whenever I'm brought in to argue LeBron versus Skip, I always got to go with LeBron. So I'm going to say toughest just because of the bubble. Look, first of all, he had to work, and that's all the NBA players did, but you have 4 months off. At 35 years of age, yeah, you can say that gave him the rest he needed to play really well, but it also could have made an older player rusty. And so that is a factor. I do believe it was harder for LeBron at 35 to come back and be in a rhythm or get in a rhythm than for a 25-year-old or 27-year-old or 23-year-old on some of these other teams or even his own teammates. Then you're working out for 4 months with no light at the end of the tunnel. You don't know if you're coming back to play. You're hoping that you can finish the season, but you're not sure. So that's a mental challenge. We all know LeBron's a family guy. You're there, and again, I know all the players are like that, but it was different. It affects different people different ways. And I think LeBron wanting to be with his family, having to be away from them for 2 months, I think that's part of what he's talking about, how it was so tough, and he's been saying that from day one. And then, guys, we saw other players talk about it. Giannis saying, look, if there's an asterisk by this championship, it should be because it's the toughest, because this is a unique situation. We all saw what Paul George said and how it literally depressed him and took away from his game, and he had mental challenges because of it. So all of that, not to mention the social justice stuff. We know how important that is to LeBron. We know he's the face of social justice for not just the NBA, but really along with Colin Kaepernick, probably for all of sports. He's got his more than a vote. He's been giving, talking about this every few days, it seems. Then you had the boycott, and he's frustrated because there's no plan. So he has to come up with a plan, or he does come up with a plan to get the owners to open up the arena. So he's certainly not talking about basketball, and I'm sure that's where you go at him, Skip, because we can name 5 teams that he had to beat in his past that are better than Denver and Portland and this Miami team. But from an overall standpoint, that's what he was talking about. And I do think it was a challenge that was tough for him, and it'll be to his credit when he gets through it.
I agree with you, Chris, and for a lot of the reasons that you mentioned, because we've never seen anything like this. The Lakers started training camp on September 28th of 2019. That's a year ago. And as you mentioned, yes, okay, the season got interrupted, but there was no guarantee that the season was going to continue. So he's working out, and he's like, for what? And you fight all season. The reason why this is because they thought they were going to face the Clippers also. So you fight tooth and nail. The one thing that you want, no matter the round, as long as they get if it goes 7 games, I want that in Staples. That went away. And so now you get teams like the Heat that no one envisioned, as Skip mentioned earlier in the show. They were 75-1 to win the NBA Finals. That's 75-1. That's unheard of. And here they are because of the circumstances. You look at also the mental strain that being in the bubble has taken place. It gobbled the Clippers up. Oh. It ate them up. We got guys waiting till the very last minute to come. We get a guy that all of a sudden he wanted to make a wings run. Old lemon pepper, got them hot lemon pepper, because they good. They fine now. I ain't gonna lie to you. He had to go get those. Trez had to deal with his situation with his grandmother. And I'm sure that took a strain on him. But it gobbles some teams up. It gobbles some players up. But LeBron James and the Lakers have stayed true to form. They've been, I believe they've been one of the two, I think them and the Heat have been one of the closest teams here. And you've seen that on the floor. So, Skip, him being the face of the league, dealing with all this, what happened in Kenosha, what's going on with the Breonna Taylor situation, and having to deal with that, and having to deal with that in a confined area and not being able to go. Think about what people say, how they've opened up like, I'm just going. I'm leaving whenever I want to. I'm going to do what I want to do. I don't care what city and state officials say. I'm leaving. He didn't have that luxury. He said, you know what? I've been here for 3 months. I'm going to stay here for as long as it takes to accomplish the mission. If he were to pull this off, this would be his, from a mental, maybe not physically, but from a mental. And Skip Bayless tells me the thing that he loves most about his athletes is mental toughness. Now, all of a sudden, he don't like that. He like physical toughness.
Oh, I get it. So, that was a nice try by Chris Broussard and an even nicer try by Shannon Sharp. Both are very wrong. This is by far and away LeBron James' easiest path to a ring. And let me start with some quotes that I read this morning in USA Today from Scottie Pippen. They were uttered originally to Business Insider.
Oh, my goodness.
And here they are. Scottie Pippen says of the bubble, it's not NBA basketball. It's not the hard grind. It's not the travel. It's not the fans. It's not the distractions. You get to sleep in the same bed every night. You don't have to go get on a plane. You don't have a 50-minute or hour bus ride back and forth to the arena. You can walk to the arena if you so choose. And then let's look at the past, shall we? LeBron draws 35 and 39 Portland in round one. I said it would be a sweep, and it should have been a sweep because in game one, LeBron's got the ball in his hand with a 6-point lead, 7 minutes left, and they give up a 19-6 run to that team. It was shameful. And then they did what they should have done, and they said, boom, boom, boom. Dame got hurt. It was even worse than I thought it was going to be, which led to the Rockets. And I said, the Rockets will cause the Lakers some problems. And I predicted that the Rockets would win game one. And they did decisively, Mr. Sharp, by 15 points. And then it's tied 1-1. And Mike D'Antoni in the off day raves about Daniel House's evolution as a player. He said he's the most improved player in the league. This is the day before, the day after game two. And he said he's become one of the better players in the league. And he's talking about two-way, 3 and D. And right on schedule, Daniel House gets busted and sent home for a quarantine violation. And psychologically, the Houston Rockets, they went right home with him, and they were nothing the rest of the way, which led to the Clippers. And I didn't even need to tell you what happened. The Clippers, let's just say this, the Lakers dodged the biggest bullet they ever have dodged because they would have lost to the Clippers. Way to go, congratulations. The basketball god said, let there not be Clippers in your path, which leads to 75-1 preseason odds for the Miami Heat to win the championship. Those are the worst preseason odds of any NBA finalist in the last 30 years. And LeBron, as Chris correctly pointed out, astutely pointed out, this is an epic mismatch. That's easy, 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 easy. Congratulations. Crown him again. 4th ring.
Well, David and Goliath was an epic mismatch, and we saw what happened.
Okay.
But that's not the hero.
Are you predicting that?
No.
Okay. Are you predicting this is David?
But Chris, if you remember, also in game one, Dame Lillard hit a shot and went dumb. He started dancing. Russell Westbrook in game one got an and one, started dancing. Jamal Murray hits a rainbow 3 on AD and started dancing. And tell the people at home, they never won another game after that. So keep talking. But I want one thing before you go, Chris. Kawhi Leonard had the ball in his hands, up 16, 19, and 12. Why couldn't he finish that? Because Skip Bayless keep telling me LeBron James had the ball in his hand with a 5-point lead against Portland. 6-point lead against Portland, and he couldn't finish. One guy had the ball in his hands, up 19, up 16, up 12. Against little old Denver. Now, Denver's little old Denver when the Lakers beat them. But now, all of a sudden, they weren't little old Denver. They was God. They was magic. They was larger than life Denver when they took your bums Clippers out in 7, Skip. Y'all were up 3-1.
We were.
And it cost Doc his job. Doc lost his job because Kawhi gagged. Paul George been gagging. All